Guten Abend, gut Nacht, mit Rosen bedeckt, mit Näglein.
Evening all, welcome to Mining Online. Oh Christ, it's that time. I felt it my duty to do this. I haven't mined since, 2006? So that's 12 years to try it again. I'm incredibly poorly fit, although, fun fact, I can apparently fly an orca. That was a nice thing to find, but I've only got level 1 or tech 1 drones, so this is a complete waste of time. But then again, if there ever was a tagline for a game, a complete waste of time would be it for Eve, I think, pretty much. So yeah, we're mining one of those belts that you form with a station by cock punching a moon and then dragging a bit of it to the station, then shooting some fireworks at it, and lo and behold, you get some rock, and then you can mine it, and then blah, 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 blah. I'm so bored already. So I'm going to talk about something completely different while you watch mining happen in the background. It's by far the most boring thing I've ever done in a game ever, with the exception of Minecraft and making a cake. I think that possibly could be as painful and as excruciating as this possibly was. But anyway, so what's going on in the game? Well, to be honest, I am absolutely loving drifters. I am loving the lore behind them. I'm loving the concept behind it. I'm loving the fact they're building something mysterious in wormhole space. I love it. So definitely going to be looking at some of that. Post in the comments if you are a wormhole denizen who understands what denizen means, and then tell me if you have a little parcel of space that I can come squeeze my enormous bulk into, because in your wormhole, because I'd love to come and have a little bit of a play in wormhole space. There's nothing stopping me doing it, because quite frankly I could just put like 15 accounts in there, but I think I'd be killed pretty quickly, to be honest. They seem an odd bunch. Having been in the nullsec life for many years, I think I understand how nullsec maybe works. Maybe worked is the better analogy here. But it was all, I kind of got it. But wormholers are kind of like Vietnam vets who just look at the tree line continually. That I always consider a bit like that, because what's the meme? There's always a cloaked Proteus watching you or something. Love it. I can't wait to get into wormhole space, actually, because to hear about the hive, the nexus, the temple question mark, I don't know, the unaligned Stargate level, that are they trying to get to Jove space? Are the drifters cyber zombies, or are they alive? Are they a form of sleeper, remnant of the sleeper technology, or sleeper denizens that are now returning? I don't know. Post in the comments. Love it. All of this, love it. Can't wait to learn more about it. I think drifter battleships are pretty crazy. I went up against one, and let's just say he won, and I lost a very expensive ship, and I love it. I just think it's absolutely fantastic. As we mined with missiles, as you can see, one of our gangmates didn't quite understand mining. He thought he could shoot the rock and maybe something would come off it. Yeah, that's as about as exciting as it gets. So loving the whole kind of drifter concept, and I think if that was more of a thing, again, what bothers me in this game is the lore is so good, yet it's so badly conveyed, and I think that would be something that I'd love to see a bit more focus on, is if somebody actually like CCP probably need to do comics or audiobooks or something. I mean, I've read some of the Eve books, like Templar 1, was it, and the Ethereum Age, and I thought they were very mediocre at best. I thought they were trying to convey somebody else's interpretation of the lore and not CCP's interpretation of the lore. Now, I could be wrong there, but it just gave me this impression of, it's like with Blade Runner, right? See, I'll see if I can explain this. With Blade Runner, the second one, 2040, whatever it was so much focus on the fact that holograms were sentient or something, that they missed the point of the whole concept of it all. And that's what in the Eve books, I just felt as if this whole kind of premise of Eve and what it meant, and the fact that this is the second genesis of man, in that God knows what's happened to Earth and the Milky Way, because the Eve Gate collapsed, and then this society collapsed for what, 1,000 years, 10,000 years, a long flipping time, and then from the ashes, so this is a resurgence story, came superpowers, 5 superpowers, of which one is disappeared or dead or whatever, and I love all that, and I love the fact that there is this kind of subtle layers of intrigue and interest there. So the Sleepers love it, the Drifters love it. Talakan, the Talakan basically had what godlike technology. That's pretty cool. Let's hear more about that. What the hell? They were the advanced form of humans that came through the wormhole or the Eve Gate. Let's hear more about that. So if anything that CCP really need to sort out is, they've got an incredible intellectual property here. I mean, the story of Eve is fantastic. And, look at Warhammer 40k, right? So Games Workshop is a company that just continually keeps going bankrupt because selling miniatures in this day and age with 3D printing and computer games is a very difficult thing to do. So what they do is they license their IP to other people to go and make games. Well, CCP just seem to be so controlling and guarding of their IP. Now, I do know that they're obviously licensing companies, but they originally set them up, didn't they? Their Shanghai office made Gunjack and the Newcastle office made Valkyrie, but they were all very mediocre games. Why is there not an RPG in the EVE universe? Why is there not? I mean, first-person shooter in the EVE universe failed on its arse, but this is because they put it on a stupid platform. I mean, no offense, but PlayStation for a first-person shooter to do with a PC game was fucking dumb. So, obviously that is not covering themselves with glory. Nova could be something quite cool. But again, what is CCP trying to do here? Some of the best games I've played have had the worst mechanics. So, things like Vampire the Masquerade, terrible, terrible game, but brilliant because the story is so good. Skyrim, Oblivion, I mean, Jesus, it's like driving a milk float around. It's that unresponsive and interesting. But the story is good. The intrigue is good. The background is good. That is what I think EVE needs, is that kind of, story happening somewhere that you take part in. And Dust tried to do that, but too much they focused on making a shooter game that had no story whatsoever. And EVE is a great example of a group of sociopathic people creating their own story in terms of I'm an alliance that does this. And, they call their alliance something very internety like space butt dong pirates, whatever. And yes, it's funny, but it completely destroys the IP. And I think that's the problem, is that there's too much focus on my shield converter needs to be boosted by 3%. And there's never this focus on, hey, here's a new faction and they're just going to come and destroy you. If you look at what Elite Dangerous is doing with the Thargoids, yes, that's what we need. We need breaking the norm, making people get angry that, hey, your station, nice as it was, has just been destroyed by a drifter fleet. Oh, sorry, no, players didn't kill it. We killed it. And it's this inability from CCP to have the balls to sit there and say, do you know what? This is a game. We're telling you a story. Will you subscribe to our story? And let's face it, if you've got a station down, chances are you're so invested in the game that you're probably going to be so butthurt that it's destroyed, but you'll love it. Secretly, when your balls stop aching and you sit down and you realise that you just enjoyed something really quite pivotal in the game, you'll sit there and probably say, do you know what? I had fun. Now, I know a lot of you are probably going to scream at the screen now, shouting, spitting Cheeto dust all over your screens. But what about the Blood Raiders and all that, and those NPC fleets that attack your station? Good, that's it. We want more of that. I remember seeing the Capital Shipyard attacks. Great, fantastic, love it. Bring it to Jita. Put it in Jita. Let's have a fucking great big invasion of Jita, not by a load of players wanting to just be dicks. Let's have a massive invasion of people, of NPCs, just something to do with the freaking story of this game. Because if I hear one more time that some player capsular alliance has dictated the direction of this game, I'm just going to cry, because I don't really care what Supreme Commander Dick Butt does with his day off because he's bored and he's sat in his parents' basement. I want to see, I'd be so critical. I want to see what literally Sancha does when something happens, somewhere. So Sancha taking on the Drifters or vice versa. Love it. Fantastic stuff. Let's see more of that. I think my biggest issue with this game is that they've created this sandbox, but then they've just completely left it. There's no immersion. There's no, I'm not saying you have to destroy stations, but having the AI that Drifters have, that can just suddenly appear in a system and start fighting Concord. That's what's needed. And I know it can do it. I know that's where the game's going, but it just feels as if it's almost just release it and get it done. Because, hey, you're going to get 27 million dicklords who, you know, flying their Tech 1 hauler to Jita with, you know, 7 billion of God knows what in it because they're fucking idiots, get destroyed by Concord accidentally smart bombing them. Well, that's the point. It's a story. Nowhere is safe. If literally my entire wealth is destroyed because, I don't know, something incredible happens in the game, like a sun explodes and all of a sudden an entire solar system is impossible to get to, well, good, because it means actually that they're trying to be different. They're trying to break the edge or redefine the edge. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. God, all this mining was boring. Never going to do it again. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.